What if everything you know is wrong?
You know, we spend about a third of our entire lives asleep. A third. But what if I told you that all that time you're unconscious is actually some of the most important, most productive work you'll do all day? All right, let's dive into the secret world of sleep. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Be honest. Do you treat sleep like a luxury? You know, the first thing you sacrifice when a big deadline is looming, or let's be real, when the next season of your favorite show drops? If you said yes, hey, you are definitely not alone. But here's the thing. Science sees it completely differently. It turns out sleep isn't downtime at all. It's an incredibly active, absolutely critical process. In fact, it might just be the most productive work your brain and body do in an entire 24-hour period. So let's pull back the curtain and see what's actually going on when you're asleep. The best way to think about it is like your body's own personal night shift. This is when all the crucial repair work, the organization, and the deep cleaning gets done. And yet, even though it's so important, get this, about 1 in every 3 adults in the US just isn't getting enough sleep. And this isn't just some personal choice, you know? It's a huge, kind of hidden public health crisis. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about hitting that magic number, 7 or 8 hours. The real magic, the stuff that actually changes your life, happens inside those hours. It's all about the quality, the architecture of your sleep. So why do we even need to sleep in the first place? Well, science has a few big ideas. The restoration theory says it's for, well, restoring us, repairing our muscles and tissues. Then there's the brain plasticity theory, which is all about reorganizing our brain, which is totally crucial for learning. You've even got theories about saving energy or just an old evolutionary trick to keep us safe in the dark. But you see the common thread here, right? No matter which theory you look at, sleep is an active, absolutely vital process. Okay, so how does all this nightly work actually get done? Well, it's not random. Our brain takes us on a very specific, very structured journey through different stages of sleep, and each one has its own special job to do. So basically, sleep is split into 2 big categories: NREM, which stands for non-rapid eye movement, and REM for rapid eye movement. Think of NREM as the body sleep. It's the physical restoration phase, where your heart rate slows way down and your brain is kind of like a librarian, quietly filing away the day's information. This is where you spend most of your night. Then you've got REM sleep. This is the mind sleep. Your brain is buzzing with activity, almost like you're awake. It's wild. This is where all that intense dreaming happens and where we process our emotions. And you don't just go through these stages once. All night long, your brain is riding this cycle like a roller coaster. You'll start in light sleep, then you dip way down into that deep, restorative NREM sleep, and then you shoot right back up into the crazy, dream-filled world of REM. And that whole ride, it takes about 90 to 120 minutes, and you do it 4, 5, maybe 6 times every single night. All right, now let's zoom in on one of the coolest things sleep does. I'm talking about its job as your brain's master librarian, how it literally builds and strengthens your memories while you're out cold. The fancy term for this is memory consolidation, but really all it means is that your brain takes all the flimsy, short-term memories you made during the day, and it sorts through them. It strengthens the important ones, connects them to what you already know, and locks them in for the long haul. It's basically the brain's save button. And different sleep stages handle different kinds of memories. That deep, slow-wave NREM sleep, that's your librarian for facts and figures. It's the reason why cramming for a test, and then, this is the important part, getting a full night's sleep can actually work. That deep sleep is what locks all those facts into your brain. Then you have REM sleep. This is the specialist for skills and emotions. So learning to play the piano or nailing that new tennis serve, REM sleep is what helps hardwire that muscle memory. And maybe even more importantly, it's essential for processing our emotions. It kind of takes the sting out of tough experiences, helping us deal with them. Okay, so sleep is amazing for your brain, but it's not just about what's happening upstairs. Sleep is fundamentally tied to your physical health, and maybe nowhere more so than your heart. The connection here is, well, it's pretty startling. When we're talking about sleep and your heart, there is one word that is more important than almost anything else: consistency. I'm going to say it again: consistency. It's not just about how long you sleep, it's about how regular you are with your bedtime. So, how much wiggle room do you have? I mean, how much is too much variation? Well, some really solid research from the American Heart Association gives us a number, and that number is 90 minutes.
If you're varying your bedtime by more than 90 minutes, you're putting your cardiovascular health at risk. You ready for a really shocking number? That habit that feels so harmless, sleeping in late on the weekends to catch up, it can increase your risk of high blood pressure by a staggering 92%. Let that sink in. 92%. That is a massive price to pay for a couple extra hours in bed. So why? Why is consistency so crucial? Well, during a healthy night's sleep, your body does this amazing thing called nocturnal dipping. Your blood pressure and your heart rate actually drop, which gives your entire cardiovascular system a much needed break. But when your sleep schedule is all over the place, it disrupts this process. It keeps your fight or flight system on high alert all night long, putting a ton of extra stress on your heart. Okay, so we've looked at the science, we've seen the risks. Now for the most important part. Let's turn all this knowledge into action. Let's talk about how you can start mastering your own nightly routine starting tonight. All right, here's your toolkit. First, aim for that sweet spot, 7 to 9 hours a night. And remember what we said? Consistency is king, even on the weekends. Next, make your bedroom a sleep cave. It's got to be dark, quiet, and cool. Watch out for things like caffeine and alcohol late in the day. They're huge sleep wreckers. And create some kind of wind-down routine, something that tells your body it's time to chill out. And finally, please listen to your body. If you are just always tired or you're snoring like crazy, it might be time to have a chat with your doctor. So, as we wrap this up, I want you to remember one thing. Your day is just a reflection of your night. The energy you have, the sharpness of your mind, the health of your body, it all starts the night before. So the real question is, what's the one thing you're going to change tonight to make for a better tomorrow?
Understanding begins with why.